Welcome back to the land of YouTube. We are on the first front door. It is the front right-hand door. Got my seal on. I'm not going to get too much into this because you've seen the whole process for the rear too. This is basically the same. There is something different, and that's what we're going to check out today. I hope everyone is doing well. Now, format, going to be a little shorter. These hour to an hour and a half videos take a long time to go through all these clips, especially when they build up over a few months. So I'm going to try to get back on track weekly. So they're going to be a little shorter, but hopefully still informative. So here we are. We are on the front doors, the little corner glass that fits in on each side. So this is the right-hand side, and for the most part, everything is good here. The rubber, there's a little piece that's been ripped off here, but it still seals on the glass. And the glass actually seals all the way down along here. Now, the only real issue with this is basically right from factory, when this side of it here fits in a channel. So it goes in on this side, pushes in here. You set your top channel in, the weather strip, just like the other door, but you set it in, and when you put the trim ring on, it presses the glass in and hooks it in there right nice. Well, somebody, I'm assuming right from factory, caught the rubber, and it's been squished over. So it's been sitting that way probably since 1964. And it's got memory now, of course, and it's got a little bit stiff. So we're going to clean this up. I'm going to use some heat. Going to see if we can get that to lay down a little bit. But also, with the cleaning of all this, we're going to use a little bit of mineral spirits, or mineral oil. And it's going to just rub that on, and that's going to gently seep into this rubber just a little bit. It's going to make it a little more soft, a little more supple, get the shape back to it, and I'll get in here and clean out all this dirt and crap, and hopefully she'll be good. Now, I have pulled out the glass. Look at the color of that glass, eh? Recycled pop bottles. Coke bottles, to be precise. I think that's what they used a lot of back then. They started recycling the old Coke bottles back in the 1800s. And I wouldn't be surprised if that's why this glass has this color to it. The side windows are the same way. The back window's the same. I'm assuming the front window is the same, except for I don't have it anymore. When it's right out in the open, it's not that bad. But when you put it right up to something white, you can really see that green. Now, I've gone through and I've scraped and polished this glass, and it is like brand new. I've also polished the handle and the bracket that holds it all in there, and it's looking like brand new. But what's not looking like brand new is the left-hand side, because it's broken. It was not in the car when I got it. When I got the car, this is how she be. Second here, sorry. This is how she was. No glass. Still has all the components. Still has the upper hinge with the screw going through both sides. But yes, unfortunately it's broken. So other than taking this out to clean it, what I have got it out for is I can see directly where the glass ends on both sides. And this is where it fits right to this edge. I'm going to trace this out. This is perfectly flat. I can easily get this made at a glass shop in town here. We got 3 or 4 glass shops. The only downside is I don't think I'm going to find one with a green tint to it. So there's a couple of wreckers that I'm talking to, and explain them what I need. The problem is this time of year, like today, was minus 32 this morning. It did get up warmer in the afternoon, but trying to get someone to go out there and get it. Because unfortunately, you got to completely disassemble the door. The screw that holds this in this bracket is down inside the door here, and there's no way to get it. You have to just lower the glass, unhook it all, take the glass either out or let it shove all the way down underneath, and then you can get the bolt here that holds it at the top, and there's one, this might be one here, or it might even be one down further, but holds that rail right down the whole side. That long rail there, and it bolts in the bottom. to get it all out. So that's not good. So I got a shout out to some Mopar guys down in the US, hoping that maybe there's something someone can get me. We can get it shipped up. That would be the best case scenario. The whole thing like this would be awesome. Actually, that whole thing for the left-hand side would be great. But I'm willing to get just a glass and this together, or just a glass, or you know what? Unfortunately, I'll just have to get a new one made white. So I have dropped off the glass at the glass place, and they're saying about $75 to make a new one. And it's going to be white. It'll be tempered, but it'll be white. But I am looking, got a lead on eBay, got a note sent off to a seller. So hopefully that's going to work out. But we jumped ahead a bit here, and I glued in my other stripping, just like I did with the back doors. We were on those front doors, of course. So I got the weather stripping glued in there. This has been sitting for 24 hours. And I'm over here fitting in the other one and all the trim. So here on the front left door, I have the glass holder set in, my bolts lined up, and of course the door panel metal where the panel's going to go. And I even have my weather stripping in here. Now, it's a little snug. I measured out onto the original, and I put it in. Maybe the corner might be pushed in further than, or not quite as far as the original, but it makes a little pucker. Now, I can put it straight. The only problem with forcing that in, though, is expansion in the summertime with that heat is really going to want to push that. So I'll end up popping this out, probably taking off maybe a 1/16 to 3/16, just so it lays nice and flat, and then we'll get that glued in just like we did the front. And then, of course, got all the valance rings and trim rings on here, just making sure everything's fitting good, and it's looking good. Got another piece of hardboard. Gonna cut that up, make my template, and do both doors at the same time. So yes, I'm out here making the panels for the last two doors, the two front doors. And this is, I kind of showed you it laid over there before, but this is what it looks like when I set it up. I don't know. Sure, there's more than one way to skin a cat. This just seemed pretty easy to me. I cut chunks of cardboard in random sizes, so I'm in just a little bit from the edge of everything on the door where I want it to go. And then I tape it all together as one piece. Then I just use the frog tape, the masking tape, and that follows the whole edge of the door right to the rounded edge where it's going to stop. Now, the corners are squared and stuff like that. I'm not real worried about that. But with this, I can peel this off easily off the door and stick it onto the hardboard, trace it out. I cut the line off. That gives me 1/8 and a little bit better in further, which is good. It's where my paint ends. Or my paint doesn't end there, but it's still on the paint. So I cut off the line, and then I go through with the sander, and I make the nice rounded corners and whatnot, and then I'll put it back on, mark it out for my holes that I need, and that's it. Anyway, just thought I'd let you see that. Let's get it cut out. So this is the rough cutout now. Just make sure the important spots are good. I am flush with the edge there. Over on this side, I'm at the right spot there. I'm good along here. I'm a little high here, or a little long. So I'm going to mark that with a pencil. I'm going to take that off. Clean up this corner a little bit. I'm about 1/8 inch too long here, the thickness of a blade, which sucks. But we'll get it done. So I'm going to take 1/8 inch off the whole way along. I didn't take off the line, so I am over, just over 1/8. So that 1/8 plus this little round to about here, and then I will be good the rest of the way up. And it's a little wavy. See a little line left there. That's where I'll take my sander and just clean that all up. And there's the last to the fit and finish on that one. Everything is good. Marked so I know which side's up when I trace my second one, so I don't make two of the same. And then I got little marks here. So I'm going to take this off, put this aside, use this template on the other door, make sure everything's the same. Then I don't have to come back and put this all together again. I could just set up on my bench, line up my little ticks. It is tight to the edge of the board in here, and I know I'm good to go. Throw some rivets, she'll be done. A little bit late. Better late than never, though. we got? Some Big D, some door seal. Should be 2 of those. Yes, sir. 2 more rolls of door seal. That'll finish off my last door and be all the way around the trunk. So that'll be good to have that. And well, that is a lot thinner than I was expecting. Let's get her open, take a look. All right, so this is the fuzzy whisker stuff I was hoping for the window glass in between. It goes in here, in this channel. It's also going to go on the back of the main bars as well too. But the picture made it appear to be a lot thicker than it is. Now this feels good and tough. And it's supposed to be 100% nylon, UV resistant, blah, blah, blah. Well now, just cheap. We'll say that first. But I am more concerned about how thin this is. I'm gonna have to measure a piece of glass and then measure what 2 thicknesses of this would be to see how we're gonna be inside here, because I can't have a glass banging around here too much. So let's I'm gonna sneak a little piece off this in case I gotta go back, check the glass, and see what we got here. Well, I did a test run on the other door, and actually things are working pretty good. It is over there, and kind of went ahead of time here. Went ahead on you guys. This is the last door up on the bench. Hard to believe this is the last door. It is the last one to assemble. I have 3 doors fully assembled, other than, of course, making the door panels, but they are assembled. And I did a run of the other corner window, also installing all the mechanism stuff, just so, make sure I got it down pat. Once you're done 2 doors, 3rd one's better, 4th one should be a breeze. But here we are. We're going to install the little whisker strips, or the seal, I guess you could call it. So I got my piece cut out here the right length. Now it's not full length. There is a tapered piece here on probably about a 40-degree angle. The glass is not square in the corners. We have a rounded corner on one side, of course, to fit into the channel. But on the other side, it's got this funny little notch cut out of it. And it fits perfectly in the little hole this makes, as the metal comes right up to the inside here too, where it's crimped. Right there to where the whisker channel comes into it, it gives it that funny little transition. It fits in there nicely. But now it's time to put in this strip. So I'm going to do first, I'm going to get the brake clean and a rag. We're going to clean down in here, make sure there's absolutely no dirt or anything sticky. I do see I have a little bit of fuzz still stuck in there from the old strip. So I'm going to scrape that out first, then we'll get that other one in. Gonna clean up the little hairs that are formed when I cut the edge of that nylon off. They just pucker right up perfectly. slicker than anything. Well, here we go. And get a little closer look there. See how nice that fits down into that channel? And it looks factory. It looks like it was sprayed in there by a spray gun. That is just awesome. And now ready to permanently be mounted into the door. So that corner piece just fits in there right nice. Now, it gets one screw here on the outside, kind of hold it in at the pivot point. Gets one bolt down here, which is solid. There's one more bolt down inside the door, right down in here. But this one, as I did the other door, we're going to have to leave this one loose because I need to be able to flex the bottom of this rail as I put the glass in to help align it with the channel on that side, the whisker channel, which is the next thing. I'm going to get in there, lock it in place, and get it started on the curve. Make sure I'm not too long, hopefully not too short. Too short's a big problem, but hopefully it's not too long. So I'll adjust that first, and then it's going to be time to install the lock components here and get everything ready to go. Be the door handle, of course, on the outside, my actual tumble lock, the door handle release for the inside, and of course, the full locking mechanism, which we've gone through. There is a lot of oil and grease on this, which is good. I'm not going to worry about cleaning the inside. I don't want it to seize. So, I guess we'll get that whisker channel. That's the next thing to jump onto. Now this is just a pre-fit, just to get an idea of where my bend starts. We'll get more into that once we start getting the glass in. But checking my components, making sure everything is there. Everything looks good. So now it's time to start assembling. It's not real hard. This goes in first. Then we'll do our door handle. Then we'll do our tumbler lock. Then we'll put in our handle part, like the hand one as well. Get that in there. That'll help line everything up. So once we get to that point, then we're going to move on to my cover or the panel. We'll get that lined up as well. Once everything is in there, we know exactly where we need to drill the holes for the protrusions coming through. We'll get that riveted together as well. And hopefully this is going to be it. Hopefully by the end of today, all the doors are complete and ready to go on the 64. With the panel lined up on the door, and everything's still looking good. I made a couple marks on here, just so I knew when I took it off, put it down here. I got kind of a template to go by. So now we're just going to drill 5 holes. Then we're going to countersink all 5 of the holes. Then we're going to throw the rivets in. That's going to hold the top together, the profile and the panel. Then we got our hole saws. We'll cut out the spots for, we need 2 spots, one for the door opener, one for the window winder, and we need 2 for the door handle itself that you grab to close it, that go through on an angle and hold the armrest on as well too. So nothing fancy. Let's get at her though. And there we go. Look at that. Pretty, I tell you. That's a long time coming. And that is 1, 2, 3, and 4 doors all reassembled. So now there's only really 3 things left to do. The corner glass. I'm getting one made. It's coming. It's a couple weeks away. But there's only really 2 things left to do. One, this has to stay at least 24 hours. I don't want to be messing with this stuff. I put big gobs in certain places just because the rare event, hopefully I don't have to, but if I ever have to take that out, if I have to get this glass out, that track has to come out first. So I don't want to completely seal it the whole way. I just want to stick it in spots so it doesn't fall down, but also so I can get it out. Now the other thing is, once that window is fully cured by tomorrow, I got left to put my whisker strip in. This is the one that gets glued in right underneath the glass there, that rubs on the outside just to give it that finished look. And it's got that nice little chrome edge. Not a big deal, glues it nice and easy. But again, don't want to be disturbing this glass. And then the very last thing, of course, is my door seal. I had to wait for them. I did get them in. Got 2 packages of them. Got enough to finish the last door and all the way around the trunk lid. You've seen that in the previous video. All I do is I puff it up with air, put a little heat to it to get the wrinkles out. And it's a 3M bonded product. There's a 3M tape on it. So I just clean off the edge all the way around with some solvent cleaner. And then I put a little heat on it with the heat gun. And when you push that 3M tape to it, that 3M tape, when it gets a little warm, that's it. It is permanent. It is stuck good. And then that'll be that door complete and ready to go back on the 64. Now, of course, there are all kinds of little things. Still going to make my covers. Not a big deal. That's upholstery. That's going to be the finishing part of it. Working on the mechanical parts of it now. Door armrest itself needs to be sanded down, cleaned up, painted. I also have the pads that need to be worked on. These here, those are the armrest pads. They are looking really, really rough. Now, whatever product this is, it's quite hard. It's not really a pad. So I'm going to find some rigid, either foam or rigid kind of neoprene foam, like the hard, not hard, I don't know how to say it, the hard stuff. And I'm going to work it into this shape. And I think I'm going to end up putting cloth over them. The back ones are better shape. They are actually not original to this car. I found them in the trunk when I took all the stuff out. But I'm going to use a cloth to stretch over them. It'll be the same vinyl that I'm putting on here, and I'll just make it look nice. Remember, this isn't like it's got to last, 20 years of hard driving. I'm going to be that old guy. This is my weekend car, my Sunday driving car. Early morning, nice sun, not a cloud in the sky. That's what I'm going to be cruising in. But, that's a long time coming. Man, it's a lot of work. It's tedious work. It's not hard work. It's tedious work. It's just little bits and pieces on the way. I can't believe how much is inside this door. All mechanical, bending, folding, sliding, the way that works. It's just amazing. But that's it. I'm going to have to start editing these videos. Get one out to you. Hopefully I can get it out right now. It's the Sunday. If you catch this video Sunday on the 1st, or is the 2nd? I don't know. 1st or the 2nd, you're going to be getting this video. Anyway, I love you all. Thanks for stopping by Duchesne's Corner. Catch you next time.